the clouds. Okay. Yay, recording in progress. Okay, we're all go. So we're gonna actually not start all go, we're gonna start all relaxed. So come into lying down on your mat. And today this is Claire Yoga with Claire, joined by Luna, from the conservatory, and we're gonna focus on joy and that kind of the finding that joy inside. So let's start with lying down and coming into that lovely shavasana. If it's good for you, having that length in the back and the palms of the hands facing upwards, the feet turned out to the side, and letting the body rest down. If there's any soreness or issues with low back, you can have the feet up and the knees touching. And it doesn't matter which one of those you do, just taking that few minutes to feel the support of the grounding underneath you. Feel what's happening with your breath as you lie down. And if you've been doing yoga for a while, which you have, you hopefully are feeling that sense of starting to breathe to the tummy and that gentle rise and fall of the breath in and out through the tummy. And we're going to do 3 of those breaths where we actually focus a little bit down onto the tummy and we breathe in a little bit deeper and see if you can get the belly to rise a little. And then as you exhale, letting it fall, and see if you can let something go, any of the stresses from the day. And the breath in, feeling that rise of the tummy. And on the breath out, letting something go. And then one more belly breath there. And letting go as you exhale. And then from here, we're going to just gently raise the right foot up, point out the toes, push through the heel, and exhale, let it drop. Inhale, raise the left foot, point through the toes, push through the heel, exhale, let it drop. Inhale, raise both hands, make a fist, stretch out the fingers and drop. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears, and then push them down and away from the ears and then let them go. Squeeze the muscles in the face to make a really tight face and then let go. And then gently roll your head over to the right and exhale it all the way over to the left. Inhaling over to the right and exhale back to the center. And take a moment here to notice from the tip top of the head down to the very bottom of your tailbone. And just see if you can feel the length of the spine and notice the back body. Notice the shoulder blades. Can we rest them down on the floor? Notice the back of the hips. And just notice the ease of letting things go into the floor. And then before we kind of start moving and grooving, the intention for this class is that sense of connecting with joy. But if you have your own intention for your yoga, or what you'd like to feel, or your own goal, you can bring it into your mind now. Maybe into your heart as well. Noticing the rise and the fall of the chest as well as the tummy as you breathe. And then from here, we're going to draw the feet up. So if the feet are already up, great. If not, bring in the feet so the feet are flat. I'm going to come this way so you can see me a bit better. And the heels are more or less underneath the knees. The feet are hip width apart, and we're spreading the toes out like, like those little kind of tree frog feet, tree frog hands, spreading the toes. And then from here, we're going to roll up through the spine. So we curl the tail under first, lift up through the hips at the low back, upper back and the middle back, middle back and the upper back even. And then we're uncurling gently all the way down. So we're going to do 3 or 4 of these. And as we do that, we can work on inhaling and lifting and stretching up towards the sky, and exhaling and lowering, moving with the breath. And we can also notice the back body and what's happening with the spine as we lift and lower. Hopefully feeling it nice, that sense of As we lift, we're lifting up through the hips, low back, middle back, upper back. And as we lower, it's like we're gently placing the string of pearls down on the mat. Feeling the low back, the middle back come down, then the low back on the hips, and then that gentle curve in the low back. And I think we've probably already done 4, but go on, we'll do one more. And then when we lower it this time, we're going to just take a moment here to bring the hands out to the sides, and you can place the palms up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to just gently drop the knees over to one side. Doesn't really matter which side. And go nice and slow and gentle into it, and getting a nice little twist on the low back. Should feel like a little bit more space in the rib cage and side body. If it feels comfortable, you can look over. Your head goes the opposite way than your legs, and take 2 or 3 breaths there. Just noticing how it feels. And we're starting with kind of waking up the spine today. While we work from there out. And then we're gently rolling back to the center. Take a moment to like kind of resettle yourself if you want to. And then gently dropping everything, the knees over to the other side. Readjust if you need to. And looking over, again, check that it feels good. Are the shoulder blades still resting on the floor? Can you still relax? Maybe even smile. And look the opposite way of the knees, and just feel how that feels. We're very vulnerable here. We let our like kind of tummy and all of our front body expose. But we're trusting the floor. We're trying to relax into our practice. And so just noticing how that feels today. Sometimes we come into these poses and things that we're holding on to can come up. And then when you're ready, we're gently going to bring that back to center. And from here, we're going to just draw the knees in towards the chest. So giving the knees a little squeeze inwards to lengthen and curl the back, and then releasing them away. If you want, you can put your hands on your kneecaps, the fingers towards the toes to give you more space. And then we're going to draw them in, exhale, inhale, releasing them a little bit away, letting the shoulders come up. So we're squeezing in as we exhale, and we're inhaling. Let's see, can we inhale into the belly here? And exhale like we're squeezing a bellows. Breath out from the diaphragm and all the way up. And now choice to keep going with that. If that's feeling good and you're sort of experimenting and playing there, doing 2 or 3 more. If you prefer to change it up a bit, you can circle the hips one way and then the other. And then whichever one that you were doing, we're going to just open out the knees and draw the knees in towards the shoulders. And if that's like they're not going very far, then just kind of taking it soft and easy with them. If it feels really easy for you and you have loads of space, you want to grab the toes, the yogic toe lock, I think that's a really funny name, 2 fingers around the big toe and the thumb on top. Or you can grab the outside of the feet. And we're just playing a little bit here with opening out through the hips. We'll do some of our warrior poses when we get standing. And this is our happy baby pose. So whichever version there, wherever anybody's at, that's cool. Just working on a nice gentle opening out of the back of the hamstrings and just seeing where the hips go to. And then from here, we have a choice about how we come up. We can cross the feet at the ankles, grab the feet if our kind of body allows us to do that, and roll up and down in the spine and roll up. I won't do that because I'm going to crash into tomatoes if I do. The other option is rolling over to the side and then using the hands to push up. And either way, we're going to come up into sitting. Yay. And we're sitting on the sit bones. So there's bony protrusions from the bottom of the pelvis, sitting on them, ischial tuberosities. And then bringing the feet soles together and drawing them in towards us into our cobbler pose. And another hip opener here, but a little bit different. We can use our hands on our ankles, our shins, or our feet to draw the upper chest open. And we can butterfly the knees out to the side a little bit. Just see how that feels. Are you feeling the areas where it's tight? And what's your reaction to those areas? So are you going, oh, my hips are so tight? Or are you like, I love my hips, my legs are great, they get me everywhere I need to go. And that's where my limit is. And let's just, play there. And then from here, let's come forward onto hands and knees. So if you have, if it's okay for your knees, you can just cross the legs and come forwards onto the hands and knees, or else come around onto hands and knees. And either way, we're going to meet in that table pose. The knees are hip width apart, feet out behind, this way. And the hands can be a little bit ahead of the shoulders, spread in the fingers. Taking a moment here again just to settle in and feel it, how is everything. Might give the head a little shake. No, not one of the things you want to say no to. No, when you have that ground supporting you underneath you, and then your yes, what's the things you want to say yes to, and how does that feel in the neck, on the shoulders. And then from here, let's do a little circle and just feel good. Move it and groove it. When we circle it around one way, then circling it around the other way. And then coming on to all fours and doing a little bit of that kind of thing. Yeah, it's just so nice and so good for us. We're going to curl up into our cat pose for a moment. So we're stretching up and arching up, pushing away from the floor and bringing the navel in and up and the pelvic floor in and up. So we're getting this kind of squeeze on the front body and opening out of the spine. Normally we'd move here, but just hold it today and feel how that feels. And maybe come slightly forwards to just change the stretch in the spine, or slightly backwards, and just see how that feels for you. And if you find a bit that's like feels super good or a little bit interesting, something going on, and you want to stop and explore that, then do. Being really mindful with our back. How is that back doing? Opening up the back of the body. And then from here, when you're ready, we're going to release back down and let the sit bones rise and the chest come forward. So shoulder blades come down towards the bum. We're looking out in front into our counter cat. From here, we're going to tilt forward. So weight comes onto the front, and then curl the toes under, and we're lifting up and back into our first downward dog of tonight, not of the day, but of the evening. And then paddling out our legs a little bit, little paddle, paddle, paddle. And then from here, let's lower the knees down and bring the feet flat and take the right foot forwards in between the hands. So we're coming into our lunge pose. And from here, let's bring our hands up towards the sky, big stretch up. And then hands to the heart, so into that prayer position. And then we're just going to twist to one side. If you wanted to make it stronger, you curl the toes and take the knee off. If that's a bit much and you want it to come down, you can come down. So, and then we're going to move back towards the center. Hands to the floor again, and stepping back into our plank pose. And then out of space here. And then we're going to release the knees, chest, and chin to the floor and lift up into cobra. Release the head and neck back down. Push up and back into downward facing dog. Nice big stretch. And then stepping forwards with the left leg. Let's repeat that on the left side. So releasing that back foot down. Finding your balance, stretching up and out. Bringing the hands down to the heart and coming into that twist. I'll just go this way so you can see on the other side. And again, the option to come down to the floor if you prefer. And then from here, we're turning back into center. Hands come down to the floor again. Curl the toes on the back. Step back into plank pose, taking a big breath in. And this time, just lower the knees, but bring the upper body forwards over the hands. So you'll feel, you know, the arms having to work as you do that. And then see if you can really slowly lower down, slowly, slowly, slowly to the floor. And then we're going to inhale and lift up into cobra. Sorry, I disappeared there, but I'm still here. And exhale, lower down to the floor. And push up and back into either your table pose again, hands and knees, or downward dog. And stretching out through downward dog, stretching out the backs of the legs. See what's happening with the shoulders here. Can we open the shoulders and keep a little bend in the elbows, a micro bend? And then we're going to walk up the mat. Think about a panther, how they move. Walking up the mat to halfway or a little further. And then we're going to bend the knees and sit back into the heels, hands to the chest, and then stretching up. Choo! And my yoga teacher disappears. Magic. I'll be back in my room next week. So from here, we are going to do our sun salutes. I'm just going to take off my profile. So coming into your nice standing pose with space behind you to step back. We start with spreading the toes, so we're onto our feet now, spreading the toes, soft knees, hands to the heart, and then sitting the bum back, come into that kind of like as though you're going to sit in a chair, and then push up, stretch up, big, big stretch, and then fold forward all the way down to the floor. So fingertips or hands to the floor, right leg comes back, the knee comes down, toes out, and we're inhaling, stretching up towards the sky. Exhale, folding the hands forward and down, curling the toes and stepping back into plank pose. And taking a big breath in, release the knees, chest and shins to the floor. Inhale and sweep forward up into your cobra. Lovely smell tomatoes here. And then pushing up and back into downward facing dog. Nice stretch out there. Step forwards with the right leg. This time, let's see if we can keep that back knee off and stretch up towards the sky. Nice big opening. And from here, bringing the left hand, left wrist into the right hand, and just giving yourself a little bit of a side stretch. So going over to the side and then back up to the top. Hands come down, and this time stepping forwards into our forward fold. Bend the knees, hands to the heart, push with the feet and lift up and out. Nice big stretch. Gorgeous. Yay. And then we're going to fold forwards and all the way down to the floor. Left leg comes back this time. Knee down, toes out. Inhale, sit in, stretch up. Let's keep going. Folding forwards and down to the floor again. So your hands and you're lifting the back knee and stepping back into your plank pose. Taking a breath in. This time, if you want to just bring the knees down and very slowly lower down. So come into half plank and then slowly coming down and then up into your cobra. And then lengthening forward, curling the toes and pushing up and back into downward facing dog. This time, left leg up the mat, forwards beside or behind that left hand. Try keeping that back knee off if you can. You need to lower it, do that's no problem. Stretching up, open out side body. We're going to take the right hand into the left and stretch and open up through that side body. Stretching up again towards the ceiling and then folding forwards and down and stepping forwards up the mat into your forward fold. Sit in a little bit to put the hands in and stretch up. And then exhale, let's fold forwards and down. Let's think of one thing that we're happy about, that we're joyful for. Maybe your puppy, the rain, I don't know. Right leg back, smile. Does great things biochemically for your body when you smile. Stretch up. You can leave that back leg up or down, up to you. And this time, let's windmill the arms out to the side and then circle them all the way around and up. So we're making these big sweeping gestures with the hands circling them out, and we're really opening the chest and the front body here. Should be no issues or pain with the low back. If there is, tuck the tail down a little bit or send the tailbone down and feel longer in the low back. And if this is feeling like, whoa, my arms, my shoulders need to work here, and I'm kind of avoiding plants, yeah, it does. And the next time you come up, come right up and see, can you come up on your toes and really, really stretch up. Whoa, teacher's going to fall over. And then bring it all the way down again. So melting back down towards the mat and stepping back into your plank pose again. And from here, then lowering the knees just. And then slowly lowering down to the tummy. Control it. Inhale, lift to your cobra. Here. And exhale, lengthen and lower. Push up and back into downward facing dog. And the right leg is going to come up this time to the top of the mat. Left knee stays off and we're stretching it all the way up. And let's do a little bit of those circles here. Just come here where I'm not going to knock things over. Whew. And just opening it all out. Like you're swimming backwards. And then when you've done a few of those, stretching it all the way up. And lift up on your tippy toes, straighten out the legs, lengthen off the earth, and then slowly fold it all the way down, hands to the floor. Step back into plank again, and this time you have a choice, okay? So you can stay in your plank and come down, bend the elbows and slowly lower down, or come into your half plank and slowly lower down. So building up upper body strength. You can still hear me with the rain. Inhale, lift to cobra. Exhale, lengthen and lower. And then push up and back into your downward facing dog when you're ready. And then we're going to take the left leg forward up the mat and lift up and stretch up into our lovely extended lunge. God, it's really raining here. Bringing the hands into fingers clasped behind you and opening up through the chest. Yay! Imagine you have this sunshine beaming out from your belly, your solar plexus. We all have that goddess fire energy inside, letting it shine. And then release everything, lower back down and stepping, I don't remember, stepping back, let's step back into our plank again. And this time we're going to do our side plank. So we're going to turn the feet. If you need to bring the knee down, do. If you're okay with the both knees lifted, go first. Lift the hips towards the sky and stretch up through the hand. It's a bit of a stronger pose. If you're feeling really confident there, you can stack the feet on top of each other. And when you're ready, then windmill that hand around and down and come back into your normal plank, which now seems a bit easier. And then the knees come down and we lower down again to the tummy. Back in the earth. Inhale, lift your cobra. Exhale, lengthen and lower. Push up and back into downward facing dog again. Nice stretch out through the hips. And stepping forward with the left leg, I'm going to say. And stretch it out and up. So here we're going to bring the opposite finger on top. And again, lift and open up through the chest, open up through the front body, shine your light. And then as you release, you're going to exhale, fold down to the mat, step back again. I'll come this way this time. And we're again going to go for our side plank, but this time the opposite side. So rolling over to the right foot. And again, if you need to bring the knee down, do. If you're okay, leave the legs where they are, or stack them if you're feeling very confident. Ooh. And then windmill that hand down, come into your plank. There should be no issues on soreness on the wrist. If there are, like, keep the knees down, make it easier. Bring your whole body down, so knees, and then sliding down and lifting up through the heart. And then folding forwards and down, pushing up and back into downward facing dog, and having a really nice stretch out here. So people say downward dog is a resting pose. We want to paddle out the legs and mooch a bit here, get comfy, And then we're going to come into stillness for a moment here. So looking for your most comfortable downward dog. And then seeing if you can rest into it. And there's going to be parts of your body that are working very hard to hold you here. You might be finding that the arms or shoulders or legs are, use your breath. Keep lifting up through your center. Think about that glowing sunshine in your middle. Shining it up. And see if you can stay in stillness here for one more breath. Break through anything you need to break through. And then we're going to step forwards with the left leg up the mat. Step forwards with the right leg up the mat. If you need to take little steps, do. And from here, we're in our forward fold. So that inner sunshine folding inwards. And we're going to stay here for a moment or two. Just walk over to one side. Get a little sort of side stretch and just to feel out how that feels. And how is it on the back? Bend the knees as much as you need to. Walk over to the other side. See how that feels. Walk back to center. Let your head and neck and all your upper body rest downwards. Notice if you're kind of holding and getting ready for the next bit. See if you can let go in the head and neck and soften and almost like they're just completely relaxed, the upper body. Just depending on those strong legs and those strong hips and strong thighs to hold you. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees and take our time. Hands can come to the hips this time and let the weight come a little bit into the heels, lift to the heart. And up we come into standing. And I'm wearing my happiness t-shirt. Happiness. So we're into our mountain pose. We're going to take a moment here and do a little bit of the warrior sequence. So I'll come down here because I think you see a bit more of me. We start off with standing at the top of the mat with our feet hip width apart and our hands on our hips. And checking in with our nice strong legs. Notice if the weight's come forwards, if the weight's gone backwards, if you're really rigid. And see if you can find a little bit of fluidity and a nice kind of sense of grip with your feet and lift and softness in your knees and thighs. And then from here, we're going to take a little bounce. And then we're going to step back with our right leg. And just stepping back as far as you can, that you still feel really stable and the same amount of stability there. And we're into our warrior one pose. And from here, we're going to stretch your arms up and out towards the ceiling. Really stretch and then soften your shoulders if you can. And see if you can find a lovely, strong kind of connection between that back foot and the floor all the way up to your fingers. If you find like you've loads of space here, you can go deeper. You can sit in a bit more, as long as you're stable and strong. It's all about that. And then we're going to rotate the hands around and down, onto the hips to help with balance. We're going to tip forwards onto that front foot and lift up through the back leg into our warrior three. I'm just going to bring the hands out to the side for obvious reasons. If you want to bring your hands out in front, go for it. Wiggle wobble, wiggle wobble. And then from here, we're going to tip back again. So tip back, let the, trust the floor. And stretch up. This time, open your whole body out to the side. So let that, if you need to readjust that back foot, but let that foot come back a bit further. I know you can't see my foot, but having the toes at a little bit less of an angle. So toes were here and now they're a bit more out like this. And we're then going to take the hands out into warrior two. So strength, lengthen it out. Yeah, that's it. And these are our really strong warrior poses. It's reading about Durga, you know, she's one of the goddesses in the Indian philosophy. The male gods couldn't fight these two terrible demons, and they called her, they made her, and they gave her all their weapons, and she had to kill the demon while she was like, you know, with her lotus flower and her glass of wine. and she rides on a tiger or a lion. So we're really strong like that. So we've done our warrior 2, warrior 1, and warrior 3. And now we're going to do our peaceful warrior. So hand comes to the back leg, other hand faces the ceiling. I'm shouting over the rain, stretching up and out. And then we're going to, if though we're doing a cartwheel, bring both hands and all the way down onto the floor. And then we're going to step back into downward dog, stretch it out, and switch it over. So this time, right leg comes up in front. I'm going this way again, so you can see it. And then we're stretching all the way up like we're doing that kind of reverse cartwheel. And then stretching back into our warrior 2 again. Finding that connection with the floor, sitting down into the hips. So we want to feel it. So we're like going straight down towards the ground. Nice length in the low back. How's that good? Yeah. All right. And then from here, we reverse our warrior first of all. Hand to the back leg, stretching it up. Cartwheel both hands forwards and down. And use these fingertips or hands on the floor to take a moment to lift that back foot. So we're taking the heel off and step it forwards. Whoops. Watch the furniture. Step it forward. And then we're going to come up. This is not very good demonstration because the cactus is in the way. Into our warrior 1 pose. Hopefully you found that same lovely alignment that you had on the other side. And if you haven't, don't be afraid to, move it around, find really strong legs, that lovely length and lift out from the floor, from the back foot. And then we're going to let the weight come forwards into that front foot and bring the hands down to the hips, lift the back heel, and you guessed it, we're back into our warrior 3, pushing out through that back foot. Hopefully this is getting easier, and we can open the hands out to the sides or out in front. You choose. Very good. And then from here, we're going to just come up. So bringing the arms up, bringing that foot in and stretching up towards the sky one more time. And then floating the hands down, taking a moment to just stand in our mountain pose. And I know there was a lot of kind of moving through different things there and some wobbly poses, but taking a moment to feel strong and check with your eyes closed, even check that you're really able to let your weight be supported by the floor and you're feeling that support from the floor up, like you're really strong. It stopped raining nearly. And now again, thinking about something that brings you joy, and let's do just a little movement here. So a little shake out hands and legs. One of the things I like to do as well is kind of shake the whole, everything from the tummy. So a little shake out like you're, something in the middle, just turning around and around, shaking it all out. And then we're going to do our, I think we do 2 more poses and then come down. My internet connection is unstable. I hope that's not going to go on me now. Okay, so our 2 more poses. So first one we're going to do here is we're going to take the feet out to just a little bit like wider than the mat. And we're going to turn the back foot in and the front foot out. Doesn't really matter. I'm doing left foot out and right foot in. Doesn't matter which one we do first. I'm going to bend the knee a little bit to start off with. So bending the front knee and just checking that it's still going over the toes here. And if we bend the back knee, it's still going over the toes at the back. And then from here, we're going to bring the hand onto the top of the thigh and push back through the hips. So we get this kind of movement where the hips come back and the leg starts to straighten. And then we're going to slide our hand down, but we're not putting weight on it, down this leg. Palm faces the inside. And then we're going to see if we can lift up through the rib cage. So coming into triangle, and from there straight up towards the ceiling with the upper arm. And if that's feeling really awkward, keep the upper arm on the hip. So we don't want the shoulders to feel bad. And from here, so that's our triangle pose, we're going to cartwheel that hand down. So back hand comes around, like a windmill, and stretches out in front. Then bringing the other hand up to meet it for just a bit more of a challenging pose. Wah, before your teacher falls over. And then from here, we're going to bend that front knee and push it all the way up like you're lifting up a big flame, and release the hands down. Hands come to the hip. Still surviving, good. Turn in the feet. So now that back foot is coming in at an angle, and so the back foot becomes the front foot, opposite. So raise the left foot and the right foot. It could be the other way around. It's okay. Very confusing. And from here, then we're going to come into this slightly bent knee, checking that we're really strong and stable, and then bringing the hands, the front hand onto the thigh, pushing up to get that movement where the hips come back. And we're looking to keep that back body long. And then we can release that front hand. You can slide it down the leg, but only if you can stay stable. And then windmill the upper hand up. So triangle on the other side. You can gaze straight out in front. We want to make sure the neck is very comfortable here. Sometimes there's kind of schools of yoga where you have to stare at particular gaze points, and that's fine if you're very open in the shoulders, but if you want to look up, you can, but better to keep the neck long and shoulders soft. Oh, better on this side for me. And from here, we're going to windmill that back hand down and around and out in front. And then ultimate challenge, the other hand as well. So really looks for a lot of strength here to hold this position, because we're kind of against gravity with the upper body. And then we're going to bend that front knee and push in with the front foot and come back up. Should be a relief. Release the hands down to the hips. Step the feet in. And let's walk the feet back in together. And then our last pose of the standing sequence tonight is we're going to come down through our forward fold again. So I'm going to invite you to have the feet a little bit wider maybe than normal. Sorry, no, I can't see me. Have the feet a little bit wider than normal. And again, just like rooting down to the feet. Let some of the weight come a bit more into the ball of the feet and the toes. And then from here, thumbs to the crease at the top of the thighs. Dun, dun, dun. And then rather than bringing the weight back like we were doing into the heels to protect the knees, we want to open up the back of the hamstrings. We're going to let the weight come slightly forwards into the feet. So you can even lift the heels off and see how that feels. And then it's like we're going to, if so somebody was lifting us through the hips. So the hips come up, the upper body comes forward and down. We can keep the knees a little bent and fold forward into our forward fold. And hopefully this feels different now. Get maybe a bit more space in the back of the legs. They still can have the knees bent, but we're looking to get that the fold at the crease, nice long back. Take a breath in, lengthen the upper body, so lift as you breathe in, and then as you exhale, see if you have space to fold in a bit more. If you want to bring your hands in towards your feet or holding onto the back of your calves, you can. Or you can leave the fingertips out in front to sort of stabilize you there. And just taking a breath or two here in this pose. And then from here, we're going to take the feet back. We're walking the feet back. We're coming down. And we're going to come into our downward dog, our last downward dog, or our second last one, I should say. And then we're going to take our right foot up towards the right hand. So right knee towards the right hand. So the knee comes in behind the wrist, and the foot walks a little bit over towards the left. Now for you, maybe your foot comes, flashing everybody, maybe your foot comes very close up towards the left. But for me, that's all it's going to do without me kind of grabbing it, and I don't want to twist my knee. So we're going to push that back leg back and lift up through the chest. So lifting up to lengthen. And then we're going to see if we can fold forwards. We can walk down onto the elbows or all the way down onto, so the head comes onto the fists or the hands, or stretch the hands out in front if you have space into pigeon pose. From here, we're going to walk the hands back Don't worry, we are nearly finished. And then do our really final downward dog. So downward dog, coming back up, stretching it out. And then left leg comes forward, left knee to the left wrist. So I'm not showing my boobs. And then the left foot towards the right hand. And then stretching back through the right leg, lifting up, 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 opening and folding as you come down. And I'm going to rest my forehead on the tomatoes, very grounding. And we're just, you can stretch your hands out in front if you have the space. And you shouldn't be feeling anything on the knee, but you might feel it in the bum or in the upper thigh. And again, just a breath or two here. And then from here, we're going to walk the hands underneath so that we kind of come up onto, the knee a little. And then we're going to see if we can let the bum come down to come out into and bring the back leg forwards, bring the back leg forwards, forwards out in front. So we end up kind of like this. And then we're going to bring this leg out a little further so we can sit on the sit bones. And we're getting ready for forward fold over one leg. My former nemesis. Now I don't care so much, but I used to hate this one. Inhale, we're lifting up. I know I'm not selling it. And exhale, you can bend the front knee if you wanted to give you a bit more space. We're folding forward, so we're reaching forwards. And then hands might come to the foot or the shin or even the back of the knee. And we're going to see if we can let the upper body fold down over the leg. And then when we've taken a couple of breaths here, and notice how we feel in this pose, then we're going to use the hands to support us coming back up into sitting. Take that left leg and draw it up and in, and then stretch it out and down. So we're into stick pose. We're sitting nice and tall. And then we're going to draw the right leg up and in and out to the side. We're getting ready for our forward fold with the other side. Hands come to the heart and then up. Stretch up. Get the sit bones under you and fold forwards. Go as far as you can fold. Mightn't be very far. You might be here. That's fine. And then let the arms come down to the back of the knee, the shin, or the toes. Lift to lengthen as you inhale and exhale. Let everything sink down. If it feels good to just let go there, let go of the neck, let go in the back body, and let things curl forwards, then go for that. All the forward folds are about kind of looking inwards. And I know, like for me, this was one of the poses that I kind of dreaded when I was in class, because I thought I should, try and put my head on my knee. It didn't work and got frustrating. But now I realize this is my anatomy and I'm happy where I am. And it's quite a nice feeling to get to that point. So maybe thinking about the the things where you're like limited, or you just, this is as far as you're going and you're doing your best. And then take a tiny step back from your best and just see if you can do quite well and have a bit more fun with it. And then from here, we're going to use the hands to walk ourselves back up into center again, taking that right leg up and out. And this time, bringing both legs up and in. So we're coming into this kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like, can I just, you can imagine you're sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Bringing the hands in, lifting up to the heart, and then just folding forwards and just wrapping yourself, hugging your legs. Your head might come down onto your knees. And just giving yourself a moment there. Just appreciating yourself. Like, there's always things that we could do, but think about the things that you have done, and the things that you've, accomplished and achieved, and the things that bring you joy. And like, take a moment to kind of counter that negative bias that we tend to paying more attention to the negative things. Take a few moments to just pay more attention to the positive things. And then from here, we're going to go back into that pose that we started our whole kind of movement class with, which was our bridge pose. So we're going to lie back on the mat. Oh, that feels good. From here, we're going to, this time we can just take a moment to breathe into the tummy first in that constructive rest pose. And then you're welcome to just stay doing that. Or we can just do a very nice kind of gentle bridge to finish off with. Spreading the toes, lifting up through the hips and seeing if we can, you know, find a little bit of softness and maybe even sway here a little bit hip side to side. And just explore it in a different way. Now that hopefully the body's feeling warm and a bit more open. And you can put, you know, tick yoga on your put it on your done list, do your done list, things you've done today, yes. Be surprised if you do a done list, how many things you do actually get done. And then roll it all back down when you're ready. Give yourself one more hug. Go crazy if you want to do a shoulder sound or anything like that, go for it. If you're happy just giving yourself a hug, that's good too. And then we're going to make our way down going to invite you to get ready for your relaxation. So making your way down into Shavasana, the relaxation pose, if that suits you. So I know there's some people where they come to lie and it's not comfortable. But if it's comfortable for you, come down to lie. And if it's not, then you know, use one of the alternatives. Get comfy. The most important thing here is that you can really, really let go and feel supported. And if you're happy to close your eyes, do. We're going to do go through the body, the rotation of consciousness. We do about 10 minutes relaxation here. I'm just going to come into sitting for this. So checking in that there's nothing you can do to make yourself feel more comfortable. And if you think, oh, you know what might be nice would be a blanket or my socks or anything like that, then go for it and get them. And if you're no, I'm fine, I'm so happy to just have got to this point and to be lying here, then congratulations and enjoy it. You totally deserve it. We're going to start over on the right hand side of the body now and just go through each part of the body individually. Kind of say thank you and notice how it is. So we start over at the right hand and notice the right thumb, the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and the little finger. The back of the hand, the palm of the hand, the wrist, the elbow, upper arm, shoulder, and the right hand side of the chest and rib cage, the right hand side of the waist, all the way down to the right hip, the right thigh, the right knee and calf and ankle, the heel of the right foot, the sole of the right foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and baby toe. All the toes on the right foot. Taking a breath in, taking a breath out. All of the right hand side of the body. Let it go. Let it go. And then moving gently over to the left side and noticing the left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, back of the hand, palm of the hand, wrist, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, rib cage, side body, the waist and hip, left thigh, knee, calf and ankle, left heel, sole of the left foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, baby toe, all the toes on the left foot, all of the left foot, all of the left leg, all of the left side of the body. Thank you, left side of the body. Noticing the right side and the left side, noticing the fingers on the right hand and the fingers on the left hand. Noticing the toes on the right foot and the toes on the left foot. Noticing both knees. Noticing the hips, all of the legs, the pelvic floor and the tummy, the rib cage, the chest, the throat, the head, and the muscles around the jaw, all of the little muscles in the jaw. There's quite strong muscles there too. All of the muscles of the face and the cheeks, and all around the eyes and the forehead, and the tip top of the head. And then taking awareness to your tummy, and the solar plexus are just above the navel, and the divine kind of feminine sacral energy is just below the navel. And it's just such a powerful region of the body, and we so often kind of think of our tummies as something to suck in and hide. And for now, just like bringing awareness to your gorgeous, soft, lovely tummy, letting it be as it is, and noticing, letting it have space, and noticing the power from that center, from our deep core, our core muscles, but also this energetic center. If you like, and especially if you're a visual person, you can imagine a beautiful orange or yellow flower as you're breathing in, feeling it like expand, this lovely brightness, this color, this connection into your own power, expanding as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, it's moving through you. That is being freed out into your body, that sense of your own self and your own power. And supported by your base and the floor beneath you. And you can stay with that just breathing, that beautiful connection with your own energy. Or if you like, you can imagine in your mind's eye or in your heart a time, or even in a dream where you're really, really happy. Bring yourself into that moment. And if you find that other moments come in when you weren't really happy, that's okay. Thank you for that information, mind. But we're going to let that go and just stick to it. And it could be something that you just imagine right now. Balloons in a blue sky, or a moment of joy. And let's just spend the next few moments there. And then if you want to stay longer, do. You need to get going. Just bring awareness back again to the gentle flow of your breath and the sense of your body, your feet and your hands, your whole body resting down. Take a moment to maybe breathe a little deeper, move fingers or toes. Notice the time it is in your week, in your day. And then very gently Giving yourself a stretch, moving, wiggling, and coming back into your everyday mind, turning over to the side, pushing up to come up into sitting, or stay if you want to stay. Either way. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste. Thank you so much.